The smell of burnt toast filled the kitchen that morning. I stood there, spatula in hand, wearing an old apron that read, "World's Best Dad." Ironically, I didn't feel like the world's best anything. My son, Adam, and his wife, Clara, sat at the dining table scrolling through their phones, barely glancing at me as I served their breakfast. "Dad, don't overcook the eggs again," Adam said without even looking up. "Make sure the toast isn't too cold this time," Clara added, tapping away on her tablet. I bit back my irritation. They didn't even say good morning. It had been 3 months since I moved into their home. After my wife passed away, Adam insisted I come live with them for company. I'd thought it was a kind gesture until I realized I was basically their unpaid house help. Every morning, I cooked breakfast, watered the garden, did the laundry, and vacuumed the floors. At first, I didn't mind. I liked keeping busy. But soon, Clara started leaving me to-do lists stuck on the fridge. Clean the guest bathroom. Fold the laundry properly this time. Don't forget to polish the silverware. I was 70 years old, not her maid. The worst part? They were both climbing the corporate ladder at a tech company, always talking about networking, impressing the CEO, and getting noticed. Every dinner turned into a business meeting. One evening, Adam said excitedly, "Dad, the CEO of our company, Mr. Caldwell, is coming for dinner this weekend. It's a huge deal. We can't mess this up." Clara added, "Yes, everything must be perfect. Dad, can you handle the cooking and cleaning? You know, stay out of the way when he arrives." Stay out of the way? That stung. They wanted me to serve and disappear in my own son's home. I gave a small nod, pretending not to care. But inside, something shifted. They had no idea who I really was, or who I used to be. You see, before retirement, I wasn't just an ordinary man. I had founded a small software company in my 40s, which I sold to a larger firm for a hefty profit. That firm? It later merged into Caldwell Technologies, the same company where Adam and Clara now worked. I'd been a silent investor in Caldwell's early days, and the CEO, Thomas Caldwell, had once been my junior partner. But Adam never cared about my old stories. He thought I spent my retirement gardening and reading newspapers. He never asked what I'd done before that, so I decided to keep quiet and let life teach him a lesson. Saturday evening came faster than expected. The house buzzed with tension. Clara ran around, checking every corner for dust while barking orders at me. "Dad, make sure the food doesn't burn. And wear something plain, okay? We don't want to look old-fashioned." I just smiled and put on a clean shirt. At exactly 7 p.m., a sleek black car pulled up. Out stepped Thomas Caldwell. Older now, but still sharp as ever. I hadn't seen him in over a decade. "Mr. Caldwell," Adam greeted eagerly, shaking his hand. "We're so honored to have you here." "Please, come in," Clara added, flashing her most polished smile. I stood quietly by the kitchen doorway, pretending to adjust the table settings. Thomas's eyes swept the room, and then froze on me. "Arthur? Arthur Kahn?" he said, his voice rising in astonishment. Adam and Clara turned, confused. Thomas strode forward and grasped my hand with both of his. "It is you!" "My old mentor. What are you doing here?" Adam blinked. "Wait, you know my dad?" Thomas laughed heartily. "Know him? Son, this man built the foundation of this company. Without his investment and guidance, Caldwell Technologies wouldn't exist. I was just a kid with an idea when he believed in me. He's the reason I'm where I am today." The room went dead silent. Clara's mouth fell open. Adam looked like someone had slapped him. I smiled faintly. "Just helping out around the house," I said. Thomas turned to Adam, his tone suddenly sharp. "Helping out? You mean your father, the man who mentored me and funded our first project, is serving in your home like staff?" Adam stammered, I didn't know." Thomas shook his head in disbelief. "You should be ashamed. If I had a father like him, I'd be shouting it from the rooftops, not hiding him in the kitchen." Clara's face turned red as she mumbled something about misunderstanding. I didn't say much. I just went back to the kitchen, letting the awkward silence hang in the air. After a few minutes, Thomas followed me in. "Arthur, forgive me for intruding, but I have to say, you haven't changed a bit. You still have that calm dignity." "I've missed that," I chuckled softly. "And you still know how to make an entrance." He grinned. "How about dinner next week? My treat. I'd love for my board to meet the man who made all this possible." The following Monday, word spread fast through the company. The CEO himself had referred to me as his boss. At the next team meeting, everyone, including Adam and Clara, watched as Thomas shared the story of how I'd believed in him decades ago. By the end of that week, Adam came home early from work. He looked humbled. "Dad," he said quietly, "I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I should have asked about your past. I treated you like a burden when you were the reason people like me even have jobs." Clara added tearfully, "We were so focused on success, we forgot what real respect looks like." I smiled and put a hand on his shoulder. "Son, respect doesn't come from titles. It comes from how you treat people, especially when you think no one's watching." The next Sunday morning, as sunlight streamed into the kitchen, Adam brought me a tray of breakfast: eggs, toast, and coffee. "Your turn to relax, Dad," he said sheepishly. I took the tray and smiled. "Not bad, son. A little burnt, but I've had worse." He laughed, and for the first time in a long while, it felt like family again. Not a boss and his subordinates, not a maid and her employers, but a father and son learning to start over. Because sometimes it takes a single word, boss, to remind people who truly deserves their respect.